The Cavaliers are one of the only three teams in the last 10 years to begin a season with a 8-0 record. Though they have shown an ability to put together such streaks in the past, like last year's 16-1 run, this one feels a whole lot different for several reasons. First, it's a suffocating defense that has been part of the team identity for the last couple of seasons. They have one of the best traditional anchors in the middle with Jarrett Allen, one of the most versatile bigs with Evan Mobley, and at the same time, a 6'9 forward who can switch across positions. If they want more speed at the point of attack, then they turn to Isaac Okoro. But their 17-1 start has been less about that remarkable defensive personnel and more about a new and improved offensive approach. Sure, it is a small sample size, and those numbers could very well end up evening out, but so far they are second in the NBA behind only Boston, scoring 123 points per 100 possessions. So, are the Cleveland Cavaliers legit title contenders or just a regular season wonder? Hello basketball fans and welcome to Hoop Vision. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Takes only a second, costs nothing, and will give you access to more basketball stories. We've been hearing it since the dawn of time. Great defense is the best offense. And because the Cavs are so elite on the front end, they are leading the league at 23.2 points per game created from turnovers. It isn't just about the steals either. Check out their offensive pace over the last few seasons in terms of average seconds per possession. They have gone from consistently taking over 15 seconds now to under 14 seconds. That is a minor difference, it seems, but it is the difference between being one of the slowest teams to the 7th fastest. It would seem like material change in approach was mainly influenced by newly hired Kenny Atkinson. The best way to exploit unset defenses is by playing fast, and with skilled ball handlers in Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, that means attack with more space to operate. One tactic they frequently use is early setup of high pick and rolls that open the paint for either Garland driving or Caris LeVert finding soft spots on cuts. Also, playing faster creates the mismatches they can exploit. For example, Evan Mobley can get the ball up top and beat smaller defenders such as Austin Reeves, who can easily score inside.
Missed the shot, and out saunters Donovan Mitchell. He finds it open Mobley as Mobley beat Davis down the floor.
He's been a huge reason behind that increased tempo and greater emphasis on transition play. Atkinson has altered the offense to let Mobley take on more point forward responsibilities using his mix of size, length, agility, and ball handling ability. When given space to attack, Mobley is hard to prevent from getting to the paint. If the defenses send extra help, he is able to find the open man. For example, when OG Anunoby overplays the nail, Mobley counters with a cross-court pass to Donovan Mitchell for a good look three-pointer.
Released down the other end, but they didn't see him. Mitchell catches, fires, and hits the three-pointer, and the Knicks down 4.
These inverted pick and rolls, especially early in an offense where guards or wings are screening for him, open Mobley up to a whole lot of options. And since the defense eventually decides to switch, he proceeds to get isolated from the middle of the floor where, using all the mismatches on him, he posts and scores extremely effectively. It's not just Garland and Mitchell that can benefit from all this extra spacing though. Ty Jerome has also been a good floor general in his own right with Max Struss out, able to handle the ball and make good decisions. Caris LeVert has been very good as well, emerging as one of the most underrated pick-and-roll playmakers in the league thanks to his smart reads and ability to keep the offense moving. Then of course, there is a plethora of good decision-makers that attract the attention of opponents, and the Rollers bring so much more than just their finishing at the rim. Take Jarrett Allen as an example. On plays where he's allowed to connect the offense from the short roll, Allen does indeed pick out open teammates, like often setting Dean Wade free for a clean three-point shot. This versatility in rolling is the perfect lead-in to the final element of their offensive system, open side attacks. For those to succeed without the defense pre-rotating, off-ball players need to be legitimate floor spacers, and the Cavs excel in that area. As a team, they've shot over 41% from three-point range. While that level of accuracy isn't sustainable, the individual talent on the roster proves they're capable of keeping defenses in check. Take Max Struss, for example. While he has not played a single game yet, his name brings high expectations for the Cavs postseason. Not only is he deadly effective as a spot-up shooter, but he can make shots while on the move or in tight windows. On the other hand, Sam Merrill is extension-like in receiving due notice as a shooter within the league's best, such as Dean Wade and Georges Niang can hurt defenders for leaving them open, while Isaac Okoro has turned into a reliable corner shooter. Mitchell and Garland are among the two most elite spread pick-and-roll handlers in the league, and even with a more varied offense this season, those on-court actions still account for a good portion of their shots. For Mitchell, it's about two things. When bigs step up to close out that space on the jumper, he's able to get around them on his way to the rim. That means a third defender typically has to get involved, and with a shooter of Garland's caliber one pass away, that isn't exactly easy to cover. Garland, too, has that high-level off-the-dribble jumper, and his two key traits, the handle and passing ability, are used to apply the pressure and play that game of chase with the opposing bigs. He is not the same caliber of athletes or interior finisher that Mitchell is, but man, he is great getting into the defense. If the big commits, that's an easy job. Like with Mitchell, it's difficult to send additional help. If the big commits to the ball and the low man drops to tag the roll, he'll routinely make that skip pass to the open shooter. When it's not Garland or Mitchell driving these actions, it's usually one of Ty Jerome or Karis LeVert. They can make the reads while Allen can play out of the short roll, and now we're talking about a very diverse pick and roll offense. Speaking of which, not all these spread pick and rolls are able to create the initial advantage. They do love playing on an open side of the floor, and they'll often use that first action as a decoy to space more. There is one more thing. If you remember that run Dallas went on to the finals last year, they kind of had a cheat code in the fact that they had two centers that were starting level, where when Gafford came out, Lively came in, and they didn't miss a beat on either side of the floor, allowing them to have 48 minutes of starter level play down low. They also had two capable lead guards in Luka and Kyrie who'd stagger throughout the game, meaning they not only had a starting level center on the floor at all times, they had a capable lead creator on the floor at all times, which now meant 48 minutes of a legitimately great two-man game. That's very similar in nature to what the Cavs have with their four. Either Garland or Mitchell is always on the floor, and either Moy or Allen is always on the floor. Like we've said, they always have a lead guard and a legitimate big. Maybe even two all-star caliber bigs if you account for how great they are defensively in the regular season. That matters a lot. Normally, you have stars playing from 32 to 36 minutes in a game. Their rotations go 9 to 10 deep. Because you're out there playing matches with bench units almost throughout the game, that puts you at an advantage, with basically two all-stars at all times on the court. In that respect, you can make an argument that the Cavs can field out more good lineups than maybe any other team in the league. However, the playoffs are where this might be a problem. Rotations shorten, and stars play 38 to 40 minutes per game, so slowing down becomes a much bigger factor than just having the best lineup out there, and is the moment when you start worrying about the law of decreasing averages. Both Mitchell and Garland can play with each other, but it's no secret each brings more value when they have the ball in their hands. Mobley and Allen are in a similar situation, but it's less impacting than with the guard positions. So while Cleveland has a lot of great lineups, they don't have that 1-5 bunch that can beat almost any roster. Despite the fact that they have the best record in the league, you can't escape the fact their offense had the best plus-minus rating with their top 4 players on the floor at the same time. This is not a bad thing, but could be their flaw once the playoffs begin. Others will have to step up big time, especially against teams with depth like the Celtics. If we're being honest, the Cavs look like they can beat any team in the East 4 times in a row, but with Boston, there's a huge question mark when it comes to winning the series against them. It's not like we didn't have similar champions recently. The Nuggets were a 4-man core with great role players, and the Warriors in 2022 were almost the same thing. So, in conclusion, the Cavs are more than legit title contenders, but they'll have a very small margin for error, which is just how things work in professional sports. That's it for today, Hoop Fam. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments if you think the Cavs can go all the way this year. Thank you for watching and growing this channel. Make sure you don't miss out on more NBA stories by hitting that subscribe button. See you in the next one.